So we're going to continue to solve these equations that have at least two steps. Some of them are going to have more than two steps. So again, we would want to get the variable by itself. So in this case, we're going to subtract 6 from each side. You're going to get 7x equal, and when you do the add the opposite, you're going to get negative 42. So the next step would be to divide both sides by 7, and you get x equal negative 6. In this problem, again, find the variable. We want to get rid of the 6, so we're going to subtract 6 from each side. Get y over 5 equals, add the opposite, that gives me negative 8 over here. The opposite of divide by 5 would be multiply by 5. So when I multiply each side by 5, I get y equals negative 40. In this problem, again, I want to get rid of the 8, so I'm going to subtract 8 from each side. And then I still have that negative sign. Don't lose it. I like to put it down there with my 4, so I'm going to think of it as negative 4. And over here, when I do my change, I get negative 13. So what's the opposite of divide by negative 4? Multiply both sides by negative 4. And watch your signs here. And you're going to get x equals positive 52. So again, watch this sign. It needs to come down. If you leave it with the x, you will have to do another step. That's why it's a little easier to put with the 4. And you can save yourself a step there. I don't care which way you do it, just so you get it right. Again, we're dividing by 6, so we're going to have to get rid of that since it's the whole thing over here being divided by 6. So multiply each side by 6. Left with y minus 7 equals 6. Add 7 to each side. And you get y equals 13. Problem 5, the opposite of divide by negative 2 would be multiply by negative 2. So in this case, these cancel. You're left with 4n minus 8 equals negative 24. So we would then need to have to add 8 to each side. So we get 4n equals, here the signs are different, so we're going to subtract the two numbers and keep the sign of the bigger number. So it's negative 16. Divide both sides by 4. We get n equal negative 4. So that took a few more steps on that problem. Now we're going to do some word problems. This is very important. Remember when I told you before about defining your variable, this is going to be important because we have to be a little more specific. So we have to define it, write an equation, and solve. And some of you might be able to figure out the answer without doing this, but we want to do this. We're looking for 3 consecutive even integers whose sum is negative 42. Consecutive means one right after the other. They have to be even, and we want to find 3 of them, and they are integers. So we don't know what they are, so I'm going to let x equal the first even integer. So I want to be more specific than just saying that it's any number now, because it gives me some specifics in the problem. Well, how far apart are even integers? What do you do to 4 to get the next even integer? 6. Well, you add 2. What do you do to 6 to get 8? You add 2. So even integers are always 2 apart. So if x is my first one, x plus 2 would be my second, and I'm just going to use ditto marks here, even integer. And it wanted 3 of them, so I'd have to add 2 onto that one, or x plus 4 would be my third even integer. So you need all that to define the variable, and then that'll make finding your answer easy. It says their sum, and we know sum means add, so I'm going to take the first one, which was x, plus the second one, which is this whole thing, x plus 2. You can put it in parentheses if that helps you. Plus the third one, which is this whole thing, x plus 4, equal negative 42. Once you get your equation set up, you need to go about solving it, so we need to simplify. So we have 1x plus 1x plus 1x, so that would be 3x. 2 plus 4 would be plus 6, equals negative 42. And now it's just a type of equation that we've been solving lately. We would subtract 6 from each side to get 3x equals, again, add the opposite, negative 48. Divide both sides by 3, and we're going to get x equals negative 12. Now we are not, negative 16. We are not done yet because it's asked us to find 3, and we've only found 1, but that's why we defined our variable. The first one would be negative 16. If we put a negative 16 in here for x, negative 16 plus 2 would be negative 14, and then we put it in here for x and add 4 to it, it's going to be negative 12. And these are consecutive integers, and if you add them up, you're going to get negative 42.